All right, today we're diving into a really powerful drug, one that works against the clock, to save lives from one of the biggest enemies in medicine, uncontrolled bleeding.
I mean, think about it. This is the question that doctors, surgeons, and paramedics face every single day. When somebody is hemorrhaging, every single second counts. It is quite literally a race against time. Uncontrolled bleeding is a massive threat in so many situations. We're talking traumatic injuries, like on a battlefield or in a car crash, complications during major surgery, and even during childbirth. So you can see why having a reliable solution is absolutely critical. And that solution, well, it's kind of the hero of our story today. It's a drug called Tranexamic Acid, but pretty much everyone calls it TXA. So what is this stuff? Well, at its core, TXA is basically a clot stabilizer. The key thing to get is that it doesn't create anything new. What it does is protect the body's own natural defense, the blood clot, right when it needs that protection the most. Okay, so how does it actually work? Let's get into the drug's superpower, how it performs its life-saving mission. Okay, so check this out. When you get hurt, your body rushes to form a clot to plug the hole. But here's the crazy part. Almost right away, another process starts up to dissolve that clot so blood flow can get back to normal later. TXA is like a bodyguard for that brand new fragile clot. It jumps in and blocks the enzyme called plasmin from starting its demolition job too early. This gives the clot the crucial time it needs to really set and stop the bleeding for good. So, if you remember one thing about how it works, let it be this. TXA is not a clot former. It's a clot protector. It just helps the body's natural response work better, especially when it's under extreme pressure. So now that we get what it does, let's look at all the different battlefields where this powerful tool gets deployed. And honestly, its versatility is pretty amazing. Just look at this range. It's incredible. We've already talked about its use in major trauma and after surgery, but it's also prescribed for things like heavy menstrual bleeding. It can even be used topically, like put right on the spot for really bad nosebleed or after some dental work. There's even a nebulized version to help with coughing up blood. And to handle all of these different jobs, TXA comes in a few different forms. For those life-or-death emergencies like trauma, it's given straight into a vein for super fast action. That can be either a direct solution or a pre-mixed IV bag. But for other, less urgent conditions, it's also available as a simple pill you can swallow. Of course, with any tool this powerful, you absolutely need a user manual. And this isn't just some boring list of warnings, okay? These are the critical rules for using TXA safely and effectively. So on the left, you see who absolutely should not take it. The big one is anyone with a history of blood clots. Makes sense, right? Then on the right, you've got the potential side effects. And while some serious reactions are possible, they're always weighed against the immediate, very real danger of bleeding to death. You also have to think about how it interacts with other meds. For example, if you combine it with oral contraceptives, it can raise the risk of clotting. And logically, it works against clot busters, so you never use them together. The whole game is about maintaining a very delicate balance. But out of all the rules, there's one that stands above all the rest. One that can truly make the difference between life and death. And it all comes down to the clock. 3 hours. Just burn that number into your brain. For bleeding from a major trauma or after childbirth, TXA has to be given within this 3-hour window. If you wait longer than that, its life-saving benefit just vanishes. And the evidence on this is just crystal clear. This quote from the research really drives it home. Starting treatment within those first 3 hours is what significantly reduces the risk of death. I mean, that's the very definition of a time-sensitive intervention. So here we have this incredible tool, this clot protector that can literally pull people back from the brink. But it's only powerful if you use it in time. Which leaves us with a final thought, right? Beyond just this one drug, what does this frantic race against the clock really teach us about how critical speed and readiness are across all of medicine?